Andrews. I think people mentioned it the other night. I think they'll be surprised. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of
life on that stage.
A lot of effects and sound and lights and more than your average play. They'll just have to come and see what we're talking about. They'll have to get a ticket to see what we're talking about.
I just talked, maybe 8 or 10 weeks ago to Janie Howland.
Oh, yeah.
We had a wonderful talk here, and she had that fellow. I can't remember his name now, but he does a lot of the lighting with her.
Yes,
I'm blanking on, Okay.
And they had just done Big River.
Right, yes. And Janie is actually teaching a new course next term, a team-taught course on the art of design, which is a new one for us. And there are 3 people teaching it. So,
well, I have a good situation in that my son lives in Chapel Hill. So every time I go down there, I go to the Playmakers,
right,
whatever they're doing. And they had done Nicholas Nickleby, and then they did Big River with the Red Clay Ramblers, which is a wonderful, wonderful group down there. And so Spiro went down there to look at Nicholas Nickleby to see if it was suitable for the lyric, and decided it was. So I saw it done, and I thought it was so interesting because the actor that played Smike, he called up Spiro and said, "I'd like to come to Boston and try out," and he got the role. So that was interesting to see him.
Wow.
You'll have to invite the Playmakers to season screenings. Maybe they'll want to do it.
That could be.
You could be the go-between.
The liaison.
Yes.
Yeah, they do wonderful work.
Yeah, they do.
And it was fun also seeing how differently the 2 theaters treated the same story.
Right.
Of course, Nicholas Nickleby would have you talking to yourself with all the actors playing multiple roles. Right. And if you think about it, the lyric stage has 6 possible entrances and exits. And I don't know how they ever figure that out. You'd have to be a math student, I would think. Have you ever run into anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you tackle work that's from literature, usually it's large. We've done Anna Karenina in the round with 6 benches, which was quite astounding. But we've tended to tackle some big pieces from time to time because we're very literary based. The theater itself is very interested in good literature.
I have to ask you this. Years ago when Frank McCourt came with the Irish and how they got that way, I managed to strong arm somebody to let me interview him. And we had a great time. And he brought along the artistic director of the Irish Theater Company in New York.
Which one, the Irish Rep or on Clive Solish, which is the theater on way over on the west side? Was it?
I'm not sure of that, but we had a great time. Yeah. Well, when you're teaching your different courses, do you see? I think you do, for what statements you've made, that you study a play and you see how it reflects what's going on in the world.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think theater has a very important place in terms of society and helping us to understand our own humanity and to understand why we are the people we are and how we became that way, how our history developed. The joke in my classes is, does she actually read a lot of comedies? Because we do a lot of serious work, but we try to mix it up every once in a while. But yeah, I deeply believe in theater as a transformative part of society, that it can actually change you. It can teach you, it can alter your beliefs, it can show you an understanding that you didn't have before about life, and especially for young folks from 18 to 22. They live in such a fast-paced world right now, where everything is immediate, that the theater forces you or asks you to sit for an hour and a half to 2 hours and simply watch an experience on stage. So if you see a Medea, do you understand what the dynamics of a marriage can be? If you see something like Season's Greetings, a family dynamic, Long Day's Journey into Night, why do we do what we do, and why don't we heal? So there's so many ways in which theater is able to change you and alter. Actually, I think even make us better people if we choose to be open to it.
Well, what about what's going on in theater today? It's kind of discouraging. I look at the schedules, and it seems to be a lot of things that I can't relate to.
Do you mean that they're too frivolous, or that they're...
I don't know what the word is for it, but now, I'm very fond of Speakeasy. Mm-hmm. I think they do a lot of great interest. But some of the other theaters, you look down at the schedule and you almost wonder, well, why these plays? Why have they selected these plays?
Well, I think, and David would be able to address this as a marketing person, I think one of the reasons, I have to say this, we are extremely fortunate. We do not depend on our box office to survive. We have a phenomenal benefactor that we have had since 1992, Ruth Nagel-Jones, class of Wellesley 42, who has basically made it possible for us to do the work that we do. Her father was Conrad Nagel, who was one of the founders of the Screen Actors Guild. Right. So she was very supportive of my wanting a professional theater attached to the department. And I think that sometimes theaters make choices based on finances, that if we do this, will people come in the door? I had no idea when we chose to do Last Night of Ballyhoo last year that it would have the appeal it did. I just loved the play.
I have never seen it, but I have always wanted to see it.
Wonderful piece.
Yeah. It's too bad. They did so well, they had to bring it back.
We brought it back, which is why 9 Armenians came into to the fall. So we don't have to make choices necessarily based on will it bring hordes in the door. Not that we don't want the hordes, we do, but I honestly think that this economy is dreadful for theater. That's why people are choosing 2- and 3-person plays, which I don't do because I have a company that I am trying to keep employed as much as possible. But if I had to say 2-person shows, it really limits you. After a while, you're trying to survive on the bottom line, and that's very tough. So my heart goes out to the folks that have to. That doesn't mean that we're wealthy. We're not. We're sorely understaffed because we spend all our money on actors. But we're able to survive. So that might be the reason.
Think of the Blue Spruce Company. Did you see anything they did?
I haven't, I have to say.
They have had to give up because of finance, and they did. Well, they won an Ernie Award for Once on This Island. They did a magnificent production over at New Rep in their little black box theater.
I think what's difficult is it's getting the people, and that's why we appreciate, you having us on. It's getting the people in the door. I have to say I was basically ignorant about what was going on with Wellesley Summer Theater until a very good friend of mine, John Davin, who's, frequently on stage there, was doing a lot of work there, and I started seeing the productions, and we're like, this is great. This is great theater. In a beautiful, downtown Wellesley, you can go to dinner, and
I know.
Free parking.
You've free parking in this beautiful theater, in this, on this beautiful campus, and see terrific actors and terrific productions, and I didn't know about it. So really, part of it is just getting the word out. And unfortunately, it's very expensive to get the word out. As a theater company, I mean, you know, any kind of marketing or advertising is ridiculously expensive. So theaters really do rely on word of mouth. And I know that that's how Ballyhoo did so well. People came to that show. Nora directed it beautifully. Yeah. Again, it was a story about a family, and they were blown away by it. And people wanted to see more of it. Same thing with Nine Armenians. So it's really getting the word out and people knowing that, yes, this exists. You know, they do good work, and, you know, once people come, they want to come again.
We also deliberately keep our prices very low because we want to be accessible to people who might be on a fixed income, who might be retired, students who don't have a great deal of disposable income. I mean, we have not raised our prices in years. And we don't intend to. We actually, I think, lowered them at one point.
The prices are ridiculous. I mean, I will say the price for the most expensive ticket is $20. I mean, you can barely go to the movies, you know, for $20. So it's a great opportunity to see live theater professional actors at a reasonable rate.
Well, I would appreciate it if you would give good directions to the theater and also the details on the nights that and afternoons that you are having the show and how to get the tickets.
I'm going to let you give the driving directions because I'm terrible. I get lost in my own backyard.
Well, what I will say is very exciting is tonight is opening night of Seasons Greetings. This is airing tomorrow night, this show, I believe, but January 5th, opening night, and as a matter of fact, Shirley, the Boston Globe called us Pick of the Week for theater to see. It runs, Seasons Greetings starts tonight, January 5th, runs through January 29th. Performances are Thursdays at 7 p.m., Fridays at 8 p.m., Saturdays at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. So if you like it, you can come see it twice. And Sundays at 3 p.m. And the address of Wellesley College is 106 Central Street. And it's really easy. You go into the main, entrance. You go to the right. There's this parking garage where you can park for absolutely free. And right across from the parking garage is the theater building with these beautiful glass doors.
Newly renovated.
Newly renovated. You go into those glass doors, you go downstairs, and you'll come to the Ruth Nagel-Jones Theater. And I got that all out in one breath, I think.
I know. You covered it all. There's nothing less to say, but I do appreciate so much your taking time, because isn't this what they call Hell Week in theater?
Yes, and I have to go get some props. My director wants me to change. So, yes, we're going to, and I'm sure she has a million
I have box office issues to deal with. Yes, I need to.
Well, thank you so much, and break a leg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Shirley S. Tamer, and you've been watching Artspace.